Well, in some breaking news just coming in, a development in the murder of a teenage girl, Aarushi Talwar, and the Supreme Court today has directed her parents, Nupur Talwar, and as well as her father, to face the trial in the Aarushi murder case. The Supreme Court has dismissed the Talwars' appeal against the magistrate's orders, making them an accused. The Supreme Court has said, we are of the opinion that we should not interfere with the order of the magistrate. The Supreme Court says we are not going into the facts of the entire case. So the Supreme Court there hearing the appeal of Aarushi's parents, who in fact the CBI, when closing the case, said they were the prime suspects, but that they did not have enough evidence against them, after which they were directed by the court to in fact charge the Talwars, and something the Talwars have been the Talwars have been fighting against time and again, and it's reached the Supreme Court now. But today a big blow really to the Talwars, with the Supreme Court saying they should face the case. Remember, Doctors Rajesh and Nupur Talwar were the only people in that apartment the night that Aarushi was killed, as well as their domestic help, Hemraj, who was found murdered the next day. It's been a case that caused a lot of sensation, in fact led to a lot of speculation, and it took one sensational turn after the other. Initially, Dr. Rajesh Talwar was even arrested by the UP police, after which the case was handed over to the CBI. He was then let go, after which domestic help in neighboring homes were then placed under arrest, and the CBI tried to build the case against them as well. But that too fell flat. The evidence did not stand, and those men were let go. Finally, the CBI sought to close the entire matter and went to court to say that they wanted to close this case, but that all indications that they had in the course of their probing, in the course of their investigations, led them to believe that the main suspects were Rajesh and Nupur Talwar, but that, since they did not have any evidence, any hard evidence, they were seeking to close the case. And it was after that the court told them to go ahead. Well, Anusuya Roy now joins us on the phone line for more. Anusuya, you're someone who has tracked this case closely. A big blow, really, for the Talwars today.
Yes, it would come as a setback for the Talwars, who were looking for relief from the Supreme Court. But now the Supreme Court has, of course, without going into the merits of the case, said that they will have to sit for trial, stand trial, and only then it would be clear where they stand. Right now, the Supreme Court has not given any relief to the Talwars, has said that they will have to go through the trial before a decision could be made. It has come as a huge setback. We're trying to speak to the Talwars, and as soon as we get to speak to them, we would come to know exactly how they would take this, what their next plan would be. But yes, after speaking to the Talwars, we know that they were very hopeful that they would get some kind of relief from the Supreme Court, which has been rejected today.
Right, Anusuya, at the time it was such a sensational case in May 2008, when teenager 14-year-old Aarushi Talwar was found dead in the home, and it's taken just so many twists and turns, and finally it was brought back after the CBI sought to actually close the case.
That's right, and in fact it wasn't only Aarushi Talwar. The health in the house, the domestic health, Hemraj was also found murdered a couple of days after the girl was found, her girl's body was found. So it was a double murder that shook the entire nation, and the police still not clear about what exactly happened. First it was Noida police, then it went to CBI. First the CBI gave a clean sheet to Talwars in a certain way. Then they said that it's all evidence goes on to point the finger at Talwar. So this case has seen a lot of twists and turns, and still it's not very clear as to what exactly happened. There is no evidence as to why the Talwars have done. Sources of CBI say that all evidence points to it, but there is no motive that they have been able to attribute to why the crime took place. So it is not going to be an easy case. It would be very interesting to see how the case actually opens up when the trial again begins in court. And this time, of course, the Talwars will have to stand.
Right, and of course Rajesh Talwar was initially arrested by the police, and that led to much shock that he could have possibly been involved in his own daughter's murder as well as the murder of Hemraj, and then it took another development, it took another twist as it were, that after he was released and then other domestic helps in the area were arrested. If you could just take us through the case so far till when the CBI finally sought to shut the case.
It's been a case that has held the entire nation's attention for the last 3 years. First, as I was telling you, the father was arrested by the local police, the Noida police. Then the case was transferred on to the CBI, who picked up the domestic health of the area, who were put through a lot of scientific tests. And when they were put through those tests, they gave a clean sheet to Rajesh Talwar, who was still at that point under detention, and he was let off. Then the team that was investigating the CBI team that was investigating the case, that was changed. And the second team again blamed the Talwars for the murder. So this is not a simple case. The investigators who've been looking at the case, the sources in CBI say that the evidence was very badly handled. So that really is the basic problem of this case. There is no direct evidence that investigators have been able to find. All the facts of the case, the manner in which the entire situation was there, those really are what are bringing out these accused. But exact direct evidence is something that is a problem in this case. The evidence just after the murder took place was very badly handled, and the blame really goes on to the local police as far as that is concerned, and that is one of the reasons why this entire case is a huge mess today.
Right, Anusya, thanks so much for joining us there.
NDTV's cricket app, Android and iPhone, fastest scorecard, special analysis and much more. Download free. NDTV.com/apps.